I guess sustainability I think of as caring for and cherishing the future.
Sustainability to me is to basically have a balance between man and nature to a point that's going to prolong both the life of nature and man, hopefully together.
Our portion of the garden is again right next to the campus farm, so we work alongside students. We have students work with us. We help them out with their projects sometimes. We do collaborative work days and fun days, events. So we're kind of part of that community, part of the campus community farm.
But what we actually do is we sell our produce to Bon Appetit. So they pay us out of a petty cash fund that they have for, I guess like irregular expenses. And we give them a discount actually off of market price for organic food, and that's how we stay sustainable.
Sustainability can really be something hands-on, but that connects you with nature. And to actually get to do that and live it and, have your hands in the dirt, and then also, do it as part of a community and part of a household and have that be part of the experience, that also kind of adds some power to it, because it's all these people working together for a common goal, and that's really beautiful.
As of late, typical day has been I get up shortly before sunrise, and on certain days of the week I'll be feeding the chickens, so I'll go out and open their little gate and they come out and go into their pen, and I'll put grain in there for them and fresh water. Weeding, watering, whatever needs to be done.
These are the plants and animals that are going to be feeding me later as well. I mean, with eggs or with sweet potatoes or whatever it is, it's really amazing to put in the work and then get the food.
Feels like you're more in touch with your food, especially when you can see exactly where it came from. But the disadvantage is that if you live in an area that doesn't really, it doesn't lend itself well to like citrus fruit or bananas or something, and you only want to eat locally, then that can limit what you eat.
I don't think I live a completely sustainable life still. I mean, I think that it's also by being sustainable, you always see how you can improve, and there's always new things being added. The volunteers that come to the farm, either students or members of the community nearby St. Mary's, they work, they can take some home with them. The sweet potatoes also go to all of us that live at the Brown House too. Like a certain portion goes to feeding us.
Last summer we donated over 100 pounds of potatoes to the food pantry at St. Cecilia's. We donated probably even more sweet potatoes than that to Thanksgiving dinner at the Mission, which is a place that takes care of the homeless in the area. We got chickens so that we can have some fertilizer and bug control without buying stuff to help us do that. We try to make our compost more efficient so that the soil will be healthier. So all those efforts are towards sustainability.
Overall, I think the idea of sustainability isn't one of sacrifice, which many people think that it is, but rather one of making everybody's lives better.
Rather than importing food, rather than getting food that may have been produced in a variety of practices, many of which would not be sustainable, respectful to the earth, respectful to the people that are working the land. We wanted to be more involved with our own food production so that we would know where it was coming from, that we would know that the land would be treated well, and so that we wouldn't have to ship the food as far to cut down on fossil fuel emissions and things like that.
By eating locally produced food, you are cutting down on the distance that food needs to be transported to get to your plate, and therefore you're cutting down on the amount of fossil fuels that you're using, and therefore you're cutting down on the emissions that are being produced as a result of that food. So by eating locally, you are pretty much directly reducing the impact that you have on this overarching idea of anthropogenic climate change.
if you create initiatives, like small things that people can weave into their lifestyle as it stands now, then I think we have a better chance of being able to actually, in the long term, like very, very long term, create a much more sustainable way of living.